Hello. Our next tutorial is about how to create a fake model photography in Photoshop. We're going to take a photo and make it appear as if it's a miniature that you might see next to a dollhouse. It's a pretty simple tutorial. The directions are not the best, so please follow along with my video tutorial and I will show you how to do this. Okay, first of all, we're going to take an image. I have put for you multiple images to choose from in a folder on the server in this projects folder. It's titled Buildings and Landscapes Stock Photos. So there are many of those in there. It looks just like this actually right here. It looks like this folder. This is on my desktop, but this folder is available for you on the server. Buildings and Landscape Stock Photos. So I'm going to close out of that. I actually have one pre-selected and the very best choice for this project, but I think it'll work pretty good. It's a city street view of somewhere overseas. I'm not actually sure where. And I really like the trolley right in the middle of the street. I think that's really cool. So I should probably figure out what country that is based on what this says right here. But anyway, we're going to close this out. I'm going to drag this image from it's on my desktop. I'm going to drag it into Photoshop. Okay, now that we're in Photoshop, I'm going to increase it just a little bit. Make this just a little bit bigger for the window. Okay, and it doesn't matter if my background is locked. That won't matter in this particular situation. So I am going to come over here and follow along with the instructions. First of all, it's telling us as soon as you open this to press Q, and I want you to notice what's going to happen when I press Q. So I've pressed Q, and right there you see that was selected. I press it again, it goes off, I press it, and it's selected. And up here it says Quick Mask. And what that means is we are in a quick mask mode for this photograph. And so while we're in quick mask mode, we're then going to go to the gradient tool, and I need you to make sure that you're set your foreground and background is black-white like this, so you can switch it. Or if you have some crazy colors there, just hit D and it will go back to black-white, which is original default foreground background. Up here in the gradient tool, I need you to double-click this and make sure you are white to black from left to right. You might be what is originally in here, which is there we go. I've saved the white to black one, but you might be this black to white. And if that's the case, you click here and you change this to white, and you click here and you change this to black. And I did that already, and then I hit new, which saved it right there. So anytime you make a gradient that you really like, you think is really cool, whatever color combinations it might be, it is smart to go ahead and save those gradients, and it will remain in Photoshop on that machine under the user that you are using. So this is how it was originally, a default in the Photoshop, black to white. I have made it now white to black, and I saved it up here. So the next time I need white to black, all I have to do is click there, and there it is. Okay? So definitely consider saving gradients as you move along through the semester, all the cool stuff that you make. Now hit OK. Okay, I still have my gradient crossbars. Okay, up here we've got white to black. I want you to come over and select the fourth option, which is called a reflected gradient. Over here on mode, you should be set to normal. Opacity should be set to 100. Reverse should be unchecked, and dither and transparency should be checked. The next thing I need you to do is you're going to select the area that we want to mask. Okay, I think a focal point of this image is this trolley. Okay, so I'm going to select from here and I'm going to drag up to there. Okay, what this is doing, this is creating a mask. Yours should be red. If yours isn't red, then you are not in quick mask mode right here. So you need to make sure that you've hit Q before you do this, and that this little button is depressed right there, and it says Quick Mask up here. And then whatever you do with the gradient tool will show up red and kind of pink. If you got different colors, then you've done it wrong. Okay, so make sure Quick Mask mode. You can see it there, you can see it there, you can hit it with the letter Q. I'm hitting Q and then hitting it again, okay? I'm actually going to go ahead and now I'm going to again switch back from quick mask mode. We're going to go to filter and blur and lens blur. And when we get there, oh, now see I did it wrong. I need to hit my Q before I go to filter. I need to see marching ants, okay? Before I do anything else, select the inverse. Now I see a rectangle box here and a rectangle box here at the top. Previously, it was selecting the rectangle in the middle, but I need the opposite. I needed the outsides, okay, or the top and the bottom. Now I go to filter, blur, lens blur. Now, you can already see I've got a pretty good little image going on. It has that miniature effect already. So we're going to make sure our settings are just like they tell you over here. 20, 0, 0, 35, and 255, and 0. 20, 0, 0, 35, 255, and 0. Uniform is selected. The source is irrelevant, and we had the hexagon here, the hexagon 6. Okay, so I'm going to come up here. Actually, if you had failed to hit Q before, if you had failed to select the inverse before you came to this menu, all you would have to do is switch this, invert it. That's it. It does it for you. Okay, so we're going to select OK. And then we're going to come back over here. We're going to go to the image, adjustment, curves. We're going to lighten up some of these curves or some of these selected area. And it kind of washes it out a little bit on purpose. It helps to make that effect. Now I don't want to go too far, but let's try this. Okay, I think that's just about right. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to come over here, select OK. I come back over to my piece and I'm going to hit Command D to deselect the marching ants. And now I have an image that has that miniature effect, that zoomed in on area of the photo, and everything else is blurred out. So this is a super simple tutorial. There's just a couple quick buttons to select. Remember, Q is to enter quick mask mode. I can hit it again to exit it. Remember that regardless of what colors I might have in my for my foreground and background, if I hit the letter D, just one key, it goes back to black and white. And if I want to switch that, I can hit X. Okay, so D to go back to black and white, black on top of white, and X to switch it. Those are important things. Remember gradient back in here, double click, I can choose anything here and I can save it. It would be a custom, I could call it something. I could name it white to black, and I could save that. And now I've saved it twice, but you get the idea. We'll delete one of these, okay? Actually, let's delete that one too, and then we will save it like that, okay? So now when I go back here, this is white to black. This is foreground to background. This is foreground to transparent, okay? Anyway, there's your gradient. There's your gradient, reflected gradient, normal, opacity. So pretty simple technique. Remember, as always, to save your project. This one in particular is number 6 for our semester. Why that didn't come, there it goes. So we're going to call this one, we're going to call this brown, hashtag 6, happens to be a PSD. On the desktop, I'm going to make sure I save that as a Photoshop document. I drug it in as a JPEG, so it's going to want to save it as a JPEG because I didn't add any additional layers, but I need to save it as a Photoshop document. That's how I will grade you. Always save it as a Photoshop document. If I had created additional layers, it would automatically come up PSD, and it would automatically down here say Photoshop. So we're going to save that. And remember, as always, you have to turn things in onto the server. Having it on the desktop is not is not where it's graded, okay? It will be graded from the server. So I actually can see my server right here, and I will open that, and I'm going to take it over to Graphic Design 1. And this is where it goes, okay? I actually have a Melanie Brown folder there, and I can turn it in, okay? Make sure your folders have your work in them, especially with progress reports approaching. Thank you very much for listening. Talk soon. Bye.